Say hi. I think it's doable. We'll see how long.
Oklahoma was a big milestone. It meant we had made it halfway across the US. Can you believe it? Our BMW Billy was performing flawlessly, and our iron butts had never been stronger. The terrain was gradually changing and the roads were getting a bit more rutted and slippery, but we were lucky. The rain had held off for the most part, and our biggest fear, mud, had not been an issue. Yet. Our other big fear for Oklahoma was boredom. We'd been warned by many a TAT rider that Oklahoma was flat, like the tallest structure for miles around is a cow flat. Somehow, spirits were still high though, and we weren't sick of each other.
Checking in. It's going good. Oklahoma has been beautiful so far. We've seen lots of cows, and horses, which we don't know the purpose of. If anybody knows, tell us. What do they do with the horses here? And it rained, so we're hiding under a tree, but it's cleared out. And all the flooded possible areas are not flooded, so we're feeling lucky.
We're dodging the rain. Kind of.
Oh, rain wasn't for it, right?
Yeah. But it's pouring, so.
It's in and out. It's not that bad.
Yeah. Looks like it's raining pretty hard behind you. Oh wow, it is. Oh, it's raining. We did a cool water crossing back there. And the bike is nice and clean now. Relatively clean. Not bad, actually. And so now
we ride in the rain.
Fun.
This is day 14. I'm feeling pretty good, honestly. Well rested after a good night's sleep in a hotel last night.
Maybe a little tired. A little bit like, this is the same thing every day, isn't it? But it's also kind of awesome because as you make progress across the state lines, you see new things. And I feel like I'm getting a very good sense for like America as a country and just like the broad spans and what changes along the way. So it's pretty sweet, honestly.
Today was good. We started early. We had some interesting terrain in the forest. We were like, oh, Oklahoma's pretty cool. We escaped the rain before lunch and then got a little bit wet, but not too bad. And then it started getting flat. But because it was the first time we saw it, it was pretty cool, pretty neat. I'm a little bit nervous about tomorrow and the day after where we really get bored.
I think Zoe's doing well in the back. She is surprising me. She's a lot more into this than I thought she would be.
Oh, a fish just jumped.
And I thought it would be harder to up than it is. It's actually a lot easier than I thought it would be, I think. That said, we've avoided some of the hardest sections, so we'll see how it is in Colorado. But I think overall, pretty psyched with how it's working out.
I'm not too tired yet.
Oklahoma was living up to its reputation of being flat and hot. It was mid-July at this point in the ride, and the average temperature was well into the upper 90s. We would take refuge from the heat any way we could. Now, for the next minute, let's appreciate this unique landscape for what it is.
I don't wait for tomorrow's sunshine when I feel it today. And when it's cold in that dead of winter, remember that snow melts away. One more cold drink, one more roll, one more dance for the doors get closed. Please remember, enjoy the show. Let's get happy before we get old. We don't need plans or a fancy agenda. Well, let's just see where it goes. We got no care for the way people stare at the dust and the dirt on our clothes.
Today was hard. Today was definitely harder than yesterday. It was tiring and hot and just long and flat and a little bit more boring. But we stayed on the fast roads, so we just kind of zipped through, and I'm optimistic that tomorrow we'll be out of Oklahoma, which is exciting. I thought about a few things on the road. One, it's so odd how in between fields, all of a sudden there'll be a sign that says the cemetery is this way. I'm like, why should I be excited that the cemetery is this way? Tell me where the grocery store is, not the cemetery. The second thing is we drove by this crazy cow factory, I want to call it. We've been seeing cows in the wild and it seemed really nice, and all of a sudden it was cow upon cow upon cow waiting to be killed, pretty much, and it reminded me why I did not eat beef. The final thing is that, yeah, I try to plan for campsites every night, and then Jeff just goes on his phone immediately and looks for a hotel or a motel and just dismisses the thought. And I'm kind of bummed because I thought we would be doing more camping, and that I think doing more camping will get us used to camping, whereas now we're just kind of babies and like, oh, let's go to a hotel. Cut.
We're about to make it to New Mexico, and it's super windy.
I can start to see the smallest little mountains. Lunchtime. The wind is getting worse.
Tuna. I got lemon pepper tuna with some bread. Zoe, what kind do you have?
Sun-dried tomatoes and basil.
Delicious.
Gonna be
And
delicious.
this is our beautiful view at the bunkhouse, which
Haven't
the
seen.
view is super cool. I wish we could stay here last night, but we didn't. I just am so impressed with their little bike maintenance area over here. Jack and tools and duct tape, whatever you need. I did use some brake fluid. I had to top it up a little bit. I think the pads are wearing in. We don't know how far it is to Trinidad. It's pretty far. I think it's like, how far? I think it's more than, it's at least 100 miles. This is the only time I've been a little bit worried about gas, because we filled up, we're getting really bad mileage in this wind, 2 up, and so I was a little nervous about gas. But I think it'll be okay. Trinidad should be doable, but it's pretty remote, and there's definitely no gas until Trinidad, so we'll see. 3, 4.
I am not a raincoat here to keep you warm. Then go back in the closet after the storm. No, I'm not a match simply waiting to burn. All I am is a friend, your friend till the end. I'm not your impression of a city with wish you loved more than everything you gave her it.
So, we're camping.
In the rain.
It's a little bit insane.
But it should stop in the next 2 hours.
Zoe says it's gonna stop. I hope it
Weather
is.
Channel says it's going to stop. Alright, update. It is 7:30 and the rain has fully stopped. We have set up the campsite. The tent. Jeff has been working on the motorcycle. It does look pretty dark and ominous over there. But look how pretty this is.
So, the issue, I think, the reason the chain's making so much noise is because this chain guard here, come on in, put a close up. This chain guard here had collected a ton of grease and dirt from the mud and stuff in Oklahoma, and it was like caked on there. I should have showed you, but I pulled it off, cleaned it, and glued the chain, and things are running smooth now, and I think there's going to be less noise in first gear now, which will calm some of my fears.
Awesome.
One more cold drink, one more roll, one more dance for the doors get closed. Please remember, enjoy the show. Let's get happy before we get old. And go put on that old wedding dress now. Probably still fits like a glove. And tell the band to play one more slow song, 'cause you still have all my love. One more cold drink, one more roll.
Storms are coming, potentially.
Dance for the doors get closed. Please remember, enjoy the show. Let's get happy.
That's a sexy man. That's great. And now you'll put your coat over that, your jacket.
Even as it looks. All right.
We're ready, folks. Bring it on, rain. So it is Wednesday 14th, and our first crash happened.
Yeah.
But luckily both of us aren't hurt. Jeff is still wearing his beautiful trash bag, but I'm pretty muddy.
Basically what happened is we came from up there, rounded this corner, everything's nice and dry and hard packed, and we're going fast, and then this is just like totally slick craziness.
And we fell in this little ditch,
And
and
it was kind of a slow fall, but it was not a controlled fall.
no, it was not.
But we both went flying, and I think everything's okay.
Yeah, we were able to pick it up and get it out of the ditch. It's a good thing we've been weightlifting.
Yeah, finally came in handy. And now we have to get out of here before
This catches up with us, if it ever does. It's a question.
That night, we found an RV park in West Cliff, Colorado. We were covered in mud, but the people who ran the park took pity on us and invited us to the community potluck. A warm meal and a warm shower were just what we needed after a tough day. The next morning, they even gave us eggs. We dried our tent from the cold, wet evening and hit the road, heading towards Salida.
Story from Grandpa Joe. Let's get happy before we get old.
Coolant problems.
Just got sprayed. It kind of like, I think it get overheated and boiled, and it sprayed all over me.
So now we need to find out why it boiled.